So you're wondering if you should do PLAB or do a UK Masters? Well, I did both, so maybe I can share my insight. The first thing is that by the time you're considering whether you should do PLAB or a Masters, is probably you're thinking the Masters is going to help you to get a job in the UK. So I'm going to be answering along those lines. Obviously, there are different advantages to getting a Masters. For instance, if it's a qualification in something that you're interested in, you're going to gain a new skill, you can add it on your CV. It's an advantage when you're applying for specialty training in future. For instance, you can have an additional point or maybe 2 points for certain specialties. So there are some advantages to doing a Masters, obviously. But the factor that I considered for me, or the factor that I would consider, is basically financial reasons. If you look at the cost of it, first of all, the entire PLAB journey is going to cost you roughly £3,000 to £5,000 maximum. And a UK Masters for an international student, which is what you would be if you're coming from a country outside the European Union, the tuition fees range from about £18,000 to £28,000. So for the Masters that I did, for instance, it was actually £26,500 for the tuition alone. Then you need money, obviously, for your cost of living. So for the visa purposes, they want you to show that you have a minimum of a certain amount of money per month for 9 months. So for instance, for me, whose university was in London, the Home Office wanted £1,250 in my account per month for 9 months. So that's about £11,000 that you should be having at the start. So really, it's a lot of money for most people. If you have the money, then well and good. Although if you do have this money, then why are you even wanting to work in the UK? So if you have the money, then well and good. Go ahead and do your Masters. If you don't have the money, then I think it might not be really worth it. If you have a scholarship, then that's great. Then which is what I did, that I had a scholarship. Then my advice is go ahead, come to the UK, do your Masters. But while you're doing your Masters, then make sure you do all the other things. Make sure you do the PLAB 1, PLAB 2, apply for GMC registration, just so that you have that covered. By the time you finish your Masters, then you're good to go with the rest. So in terms of jobs as well, if you do a UK Masters and want to get a job in that field, if you want to do a job in research, like in public health research, those kind of jobs are not on strategic occupation list. So that means for you to be employed and you're not British or you're not a citizen of the UK, then the employers have to show something called, they have to pass our residence labour market test. So that means that they have to prove that they have looked the entire UK and they failed to find someone who qualifies for this job. They've looked the entire European Union and they failed to find someone, and that's when they can consider you for the job. So it makes it a bit tougher for you and also for employers to employ someone like this. However, medical doctor jobs are on the shortage occupation list. So that means that if you want this job and you have the qualifications, you can just apply and you'll be considered just like anyone else. So that's another reason why I think it might not be worth it if you want to do a Masters and get a job in that particular field immediately. So you can obviously get a job. It's just that usually if you've come for you're on a 1-year visa and you want to try and get the job in that time, it gets a bit tougher. So yeah, probably try and do the PLAB, and then you can also look for the jobs at any other time as well. So in conclusion, I really think if you don't have money for these Masters and you're going to be saving the money for the Masters with hopes of getting a job after that, I think it's not worth it. You'd rather just pay for the PLAB, and then after doing the PLAB, then you can obviously get a job and you're more likely to get your money back. If you want to know what are the steps you need to work in the UK as a doctor, then click here to watch this video. If you want to know how much you need for PLAB, then click here.